Namaste everybody. I'm trying to record outside today, which is a challenge in itself. So I've had trouble with the mic this morning and the dogs who are staring at me through the window. But hopefully it's Easter, so I thought it's going to be a beautiful day today, and Easter has a lot of associations with gardens. And across all faiths, gardens are very important. So my garden sprung into life. There's lots of blossom. There are some robins nesting in the holly tree. And it just seemed like a nice place to be today because it's going to be a beautiful day. So we're going to do an unlocking and unblocking practice today. So we're looking at using 2 blocks and a belt. If you don't have blocks, then you can use a couple of sofa cushions, firm ones, or maybe a couple of Tupperware boxes, as long as they're not going to slide across the mat or the floor. And we're going to start by just bringing ourselves into practice. And I've got to wear a watch today because I can't see a clock, so I just need to keep an eye on the time. So we're going to sit cross-legged to start with, and we're just going to bring ourselves comfortably. If it's not comfortable for you to sit cross-legged, then obviously you can prop yourself up on a couple of sofa cushions or a couple of blocks, and just find where you can be settled. So we're going to sit cross-legged, hands on knees, take the shoulders round a few times together, just mobilizing the shoulders, sliding them around a bit. There's the robin. And reversing. And then just carefully relaxing. So we're going to lie down now. We're going to bring ourselves into cross-legged supine twist. So we're going to lie. If you want to grab your belt, you can. If you want to hold one of the legs, you might want to stretch into the hamstrings a little bit more. So we're going to relax down, feet flat on the floor. We're going to fan the arms out, cross the right leg over the left, or it doesn't really matter which side you start, and then we're going to stretch the arms across the mat and carefully lower down to the side. Roll off to start with, and then turn away, open the palm and turn away from the legs. So breathing here. If you want to increase the stretch, you can stretch the top leg away and push through the heel, or not. At this early stage, you might just want to stretch out and breathe. Breathing here into the expanded rib cage on the right hand side. Turn the head back to center, bring the hand back in, turn over, cross the legs, fan open, roll onto the right hand side this time, stretch away with the left, turn the palm up and turn the head away. Stretch the leg away if you want to increase the stretch or not. So just find where you can be comfortable. You can also rest sofa cushions, etc. underneath your thighs if you want to take this both sides again. Keep breathing. And then turn the head back to center, bring the hand back in, turn yourself back in. And one leg at a time, or both together, your Apanasana. So foot flat to the floor, drawing the right knee in, breathing out, releasing it lightly on the in-breath, and breathing out, pulling it back in a little bit. See if you can just release the bottom, the lower back and the hip a little bit. Swap sides, pulling in, releasing, pulling in, releasing. And then both legs together when you're ready. Stir them around if that's comfortable, depending on what surface you're on. Hopefully if you're on a nice comfortable carpet, this is quite pleasant. Stir it right round to the outside of the outer hips. Get over to the gluteus medius behind the hip bone and round again. And just massage it out. Fantastic. Bring yourself back up to cross-legged position. Again, prop yourself if you need to, and carefully does it then. We're going to sit and relax in this position, and we're going to hold the knees and bamboo the spine. So we're going to roll the shoulders up and back, Pop the heart forward, snake up and lengthen the front of the body, and then curl the tail under, collapse and drop back and slide. And just take your time with this to really sort of open up the spine. So you're going to slide forward, lengthen the front of the body, snaking up, and then as you go backwards, just collapse and curl the tail under, drop the back, hold on to the knees, and then slide forward. So a sort of bamboo spine up and snaky spine up, and then collapsing, dropping, opening, extending the spine open a little bit. Bring yourself forward, and then we're just going to sort of snake our way around. So dropping the right shoulder over to the right knee, left shoulder over to the left knee. Stir yourself around, collapse the back, roll around the buttocks, coming all the way around again. Keeping going. Just checking this is still filming. Yes, it is. Hooray! Okay. So, keep going with that bamboo spine and change the direction. So dropping the left shoulder to the right, left knee, right shoulder to the right knee, and round. Spinning around, just sort of unblocking the lower back, the spine, the shoulders, just getting everything mobile. Maybe if you've been spending a lot of time or more time sitting than you have been used to, less time walking. Some of us used to take sort of 3 or 4 dog walks a day, so only going out once a day is quite a shock to the system. So to sort of fire up now the digestive system and our circulatory system, we're going to take our fists of fire. And obviously using Ujjayi breath if you can, closing the throat. If that's not suitable for you and you want to keep sort of snot levels down, then feel free to breathe out through the mouth. Okay, so take a deep breath in, open up the hands, star the chest, lift up and lengthen, breathing in, and then breathe out. Suck everything back towards the spine. Don't hurry this, take a deep breath in, lengthen and lift, and then one more time. Star the hands, lengthen, and breathe out. Pushing the breath out as fast as you can. So it might be here that you want to place a block behind you just to give yourself a little bit of lift. Okay, we're looking for a long spine here, this unblocking, unlocking sort of our energy pathway up and down the spine, the central nervous system. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, drop the shoulders down again, tuck the chin in. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to twist around, left hand to right knee, and turn around, find your block, push into the block, and lift and puff the chest up. Drop the shoulder blades down and back. Band is lightly engaged now, breathing here. Tucking the chin in, breathe into the twist. So expanding the rib cage on the right. Use your Ujjayi breath. Deep breath in, back to center. And breathe out, right hand to left knee. Roll the left shoulder open. Find the brick. Push into it, lift. Puff the chest up, drop the shoulders back. Tuck the chin in and breathe here. And just wind out of each side of the pelvis. Breathing here. 2 bullfinches have just arrived in the tree next door, which is rather lovely. Breathing here. Deep breath in, back to center. Lovely. So then, bringing the block round to the front, I'm going to take U-shaped arms now. If you've got any sort of issues in the neck, shoulders, upper back, then just take it easy. You don't have to have the hands high, and you can have the arms wide and low if you prefer, and just concentrate on opening the chest, opening the pectoral muscle, and just sort of puffing up the chest and ready to receive energy. Okay, if you want to, you can bring it up, draw it into the cactus arms. So we're sort of pushing them back slightly, dropping the shoulders down and scooping the shoulder blades in and the arms forward ever so slightly again. Starring the hands, tucking the chin in, deep breath here. And breathe out, push the hands together. Breathe in, take your time, use the breath. Open, draw the shoulder blades together, and then breathe out. Push together. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time, deep breath in. Draw the shoulder blades together. And breathing out. Lovely, so we're going to change our orientation now. We're going to come into the cat-cow position. So I'm just going to shed my layers. Okay. Carefully does it then, bringing onto your hands and knees. If you need to pad up, then please do. I'm going to turn sideways for this one. So make sure you've got your alignment just right. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, knees and hips. And we're going to draw the shoulder blades back, stretch through the top of the head, level up the spine as best you can. If you need to take a bit of slaloming, then do. Stretch away. Drop the shoulders backwards, drop the belly, breathing in. Notice if there's any movement or clicking or cracking in the spine. Hopefully no pain, just opening and stretching and finding space where there wasn't any before. Breathing in here, drop the belly, slide the shoulders back, lift the tail. And breathing out. Keep those bandhas tucked in to help support the movements. Take your time here again. So we're looking at unlocking and opening and creating space where there wasn't any before. It doesn't have to be big movements. You don't have to have the head involved as well. Keep moving and sliding. And pushing out. Push into the floor, really open and slide those shoulder blades apart. Lovely. On the cat, on the cow, dip the belly, lift and draw together in the mid-back. And then open up, push away and really extend. Lovely. And then carefully then bringing ourselves into our cat-cow slalom. So you're well aware of this one. Widening the hands, really big cat paws here, pushing all the joints into the floor and activating the wrists, sucking the belly in, and then breathing out, lowering down. Suck the belly in. You don't have to go all the way over. It could just be a very subtle movement of the pelvis. The pelvis and the thighs are really heavy, big bones, heavy bones. Okay, so you just need to be careful here. Moving slowly. If you get down towards the floor, suck those bandhas in and help give a little bit of buoyancy and lift as you come back up. Carefully does it. Breathing out on the lift, on the effort. Lovely. Carefully does it then. Excellent. So we're going to take a high arm twist. So you might want to open the knees a little bit and bring the hands a bit closer together this time. So push down through the left shoulder, lift up and out of the shoulder girdle, keep stretching through the top of the head, balancing up with the bandhas. I'm going to take a deep twist up and then breathing out. It doesn't have to be as expansive as mine. Breathing out and twisting. If you want to stay at any point, it doesn't have to be high. Swap out into a swan stretch when you've had enough. And you can take it really slowly, and it doesn't have to be as big as that. Okay, bring yourself onto the other side when you're ready. Pressing into the right shoulder, right hand, lifting up, out and away, lengthening through the top of the head, bandhas tucked in, deep breath in opening, and breathing out. Breathing in opening, and breathing out. Breathing in opening, and breathing out. and then carefully settling yourself into a swan stretch. Take a couple of goes at it if you need to. Roll the shoulders away, push the floor away. Activate the arms in the same way as you activate the legs and lengthen through the spine. Breathing here. Settling in your swan, keeping happy, keeping lengthened. Lovely. Okay, so then everybody, we're going to take ourselves up to standing now and take a side stretch. So however you want to come up to standing, if you're already kneeling, great. Then you can bring one leg up and carefully bring yourself up, okay, to the front of the mat. Okay, so we're up. We're going to take our side stretch, open the feet a little bit wider than you normally would, so hip distance or a little bit wider. I'm going to take a deep breath in and stretch the arms up. Catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Push down through the left side and lengthen, and just focus on stretching the serratus and puffing up through those left ribs. No need to lean too far. Just stretch, stretch, stretch. If you end up dropping the hand down and taking it a little bit further, that's fine. That's up to you. And just think about length rather than bend. Deep breath in, back to center. Lovely. Settle. Take a deep breath in, arm on the right. Catch the right wrist. Stretch up through the right side. Push down through the right side to activate. Lengthen that serratus on the right and puff up. Breathing into the ribs, stretching up, up and away. So we're looking at length here. And if you want to take it more expansive, then you can. Stretching up and over. Focusing on the breath here, getting open into the side. Soften it off. Now for these forward folds, you can keep your knees as bent as you like. So you can bring them in a little bit if you want, or keep them wide, your call. We're looking to save the back, so bending the knees and keeping the knees soft. Taking a deep breath in. Breathe out, fold. Hands to shins. Ardha Uttanasana, half Uttanasana. Roll the shoulders back and away. Tuck the tail under and stretch through the top of the head as you just lift the heart a little bit and activate the back. Breathing here. And then breathing out, fold. If you don't want to fold, that's fine. You can keep in your Ardha Uttanasana or fold the hands, lift the tail, but keep the knees soft. And then you're going to nod your head for yes. And you're going to shake your head for no. And just try and release the neck. Yes. And no. Wait until you hear some sort of popping, cracking or clicking noises in the neck, and just see if you can release any tension that's kept in those neck and shoulder muscles, upper back muscles. Let gravity do its thing. Deep breath in, fingers to the floor, stretch away, lengthen. Hands to chest if you want to stretch away again. Lovely. So here we're going to take a right step back. So I'm going to go out to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to take our right leg back into our Padottanasana. Okay. So first of all, we're going to be having our feet parallel and as wide as you can manage here. Okay. If you want to tuck the toes in, I'm going to keep the knees soft if at all possible. Okay. So you might want to here have your blocks ready or not, so you can have them in front of you, or your Tupperwares or your cushions, okay, to just give you a little bit of lift and lengthen. Okay, so take a deep breath in. We're going to take our side stretch again. Deep breath in, stretch up with the left hand, catch the left wrist, stretch away. Keep the knees soft, keep lengthening and pushing down through both feet, band is engaged here. If you want to take it down and over, take it down and over and stretch over, breathing heavily into this area. So really aiming to puff up this rib cage. Space, think space. Deep breath in, back to center. Catch the right wrist with the left hand. Stretch up and away, push the floor away, lengthen. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then carefully settling the arm down if you want to go further. Lengthening up, up and away. Breathing into this right side here. Lovely. Deep breath in, back to center. Softening it off, we're going to go down to the floor now. I'm going to take some sort of bamboo spine work with the blocks. Okay, so deep breath in. You can go arms high or arms low. Save your back if you need to. Arms low. bend the knees, kick the tail out, stretch and reach for the bricks, roughly underneath the shoulder heads. You might need to move them a little bit. Hands flat or a little bit wider and gripping on. Roll the shoulders, breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, lengthen. Keep the weight in the heels. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, fold. One more time. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, fold. So you're sort of collapsing the chest and then puffing the chest open as best you can. Walk the fingers back, soften the knees, lift the tail and drop the head. Doesn't have to be a straight leg version if you don't want it to. Pressing the hands into the floor if you can, or take a brick or block back with you. Soften the knees off, breathe in. Carefully does it then. We're going to turn. I'm just going to pop my top back on actually because it's quite chilly. It's still quite early. We're going to turn to the left. Bend the left knee over the ankle, up onto the high heel, down to the floor here. Okay, stretching away, lengthening, low Anjaneyasana. Okay, so making sure you've got your proportion here. Nice vertical shin. Okay, toes curled under at the back or flatten it off if you prefer. Lift yourself up, deep breath in. Again, if you're saving your back, then it's up to you how high these arms go. High arms, more strain on the back. Okay, deep breath in, stretch up or out. Lengthen the front of the body, reach up, keep lengthening, lifting. And then square off the head, so bring it back to center and tuck the chin in. So the shoulders are dropping down and away. The hands are starred. The tail is curling under to open the hip, bandhas are supporting, and the chin is tucking backwards to lengthen the back of the neck. Lovely. Deep breath in, carefully does it. We're going to bring ourselves back up onto the knees. Bring that right foot forward. Ardha Uttanasana, stretch up, lengthen. Bring the shoulders down, curl the tail under, activate the back. Breathe out, fold. And bring yourself back up to standing. It's a beautiful morning, it really is. Got a lovely view of the church over there. Okay, so we're going to this time step right in a different way. So I'm going to step back into our Padottanasana. I'm going to take the same again. So I'm going to widen the legs, soften the knees, having our bricks still ready. Soften the knees. Lovely. Deep breath in, side stretch again. This time take it more expansive if you want to. Push the floor away, keep even weight between both feet and lifting up the bandhas and stretching up, up and away. Lengthening away. Wardrobe malfunction. And breathing in back to center. Breathing out onto the other side, stretching up, up and away, lengthening, lengthening and over. It's up to you, don't lock out the knees, keep it soft, keep it expansive. Doesn't have to be mega. Deep breath in back to center. Soften off, breathe in, sweep up if you're comfortable with your arch in your lower back and keep the knees soft as you push down towards the floor. Bring those blocks in, press the hands in, lengthen through the top of the head. Popping up, breathing in, and then breathing out, fold. Breathing in, drawing the hands together, up onto fingertips if you need to, activate the back. Breathe out, fold. Knees soft if you need to. Breathing in, and breathing out. Walk the hands back into your classic Padottanasana. Lifting the tail, softening the knees off by all means. It doesn't have to be mega, and you can be propped up really high here if you don't want to be low. You can be high, okay? Lovely. Turning to the right this time, so right leg, Anjaneyasana, knee above the ankle, knee down at the back. Bring yourself up a little bit here. Lift off. Deep breath in, think about your arm position that's going to work for you, and settle. Curl the tail under, push both feet into the floor, drop the shoulders back and down, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. So it's about length this, not bend. And then drop the head forward, tuck the chin back, and just draw everything down, but yet out. It's a bit of a strange sort of isometric style work here. Breathing here. And breathing in, release it off. Lovely. Up on the back toes, carefully bring yourself up. Move that leg forward as best you can. Ardha Uttanasana, hands to the shins. Stretch forward, curl the tail under, lift the heart, activate the back. Breathe out, fold. Fold the arms again. Yes with the head. No with the head. And then carefully soften and bring yourself all the way back up. Lovely, well done everyone. Quick mic check and quick filming check. We're all good. Okay, just dry my foot off. Okay, so we're going to take the same again. So there's a little bit of sort of movement here, and we're going to change it now slightly. So we're going to take some, still stepping into our Padottanasana, but we're going to sort of walk around between poses, and we're going to take variations in our lunging. Okay, so I'm going to stay in this position just for the moment. So take a deep breath in, stretch up. Breathe out, soften. Breathe in, hands to the shins, stretch away, lengthen. Breathing here, sucking the energy up the bandhas, activate the back. Breathe out, fold. We're going to stride the right leg back again, okay? Back into our wide angle Prasarita Padottanasana A position, okay? This time, you might want to turn the knees out a little bit, okay? And bring the knees above the ankles. So it might be that you have to bring the feet in a little bit, okay? The knees are bent, so this is going more into sort of goddess legs, okay? So you're trying to curl the tail under, tuck the buns in as you sit down a little bit. Breathing here. Now, we're going to take our side stretch. So if you've gone too low, which happens quite frequently, everyone goes a bit too low too quickly, you're going to sit down, take a deep breath in, stretch up and lengthen. Okay, resting on the thigh, breathing here. Don't go too low too soon. Breathing, deep breath in back to center, and then breathing out onto the other side. Stretching away, lengthening, keeping even weight in the feet as best you can. It's a bit tricky. Lovely. Back to the other side. And then back over to this side. Lovely. Back to the center. Release it off a little bit. Stretch up. And then breathing out, sitting back down. Go down a bit lower this time. See if you can sit down in the center. Hands up to our starred position. Draw the shoulders back and down. Hold here. It's not easy. You need to rest out, rest out. Bring yourself up. Release it off. This time, if you can take the same arm position, we're going to bring the hands together. Okay, so take a deep breath in, sitting yourself down. Again, don't go too low. Okay, you don't want like sort of lactic acid overload. Deep breath in, hands up to cactus. Draw the shoulders back and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Press. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release that off. Spinning to the left side now, so having the left leg out in front. Okay. We're going to turn to the left and spin. Lower ourselves down onto that knee, or you can take the high version this time if you prefer. Just caterpillar that foot forward, make sure the knee is happy. Stretch and lengthen to start with, then push away and lift. Lift the chest, lengthen the front and the back evenly. Breathing in here. It's enough to rest here if you prefer. If you want to take it up to high, you can lift the back heel off and then take it even higher if you prefer. Stretch up and lengthen, sucking the bandhas in, breathing here. Breathing out, folding down. This time, dropping the back leg down for the moment. Okay, we're going to bring the hands in. I'm going to caterpillar the left foot out to the left side of the mat. Okay, so going a bit wider, settle yourself down a little bit, push the floor away and lengthen, and then lift up off the back foot. Push the floor away evenly through both feet. You can soften that knee off at the back. Just keep pushing through the heel rather than locking out the knee, and breathing here. So you're sort of drawing yourself forward as best you can while still pushing down into the floor. Breathing here. And then we're going to work it back. So bend the back knee into a sort of Parsvottanasana variation. So roll the shoulders, stretch down and lengthen, straightening this front leg. If you want that foot to come off, that's fine too. If you want to straighten both legs, that's fine too. It's a little bit wonky, but see how you go. Breathing here, lengthening. It's a nice hamstring stretch here. Good for runners, good for cyclists. Settle it back down. Excellent. Walk yourself round to the middle. Okay, good news. Back into our goddess pose. So bent legs. We're going to find the bricks. Okay, this time you might need them a little bit higher. Up to you. Okay, because we need to drop the tail and lift. Breathing in, lift. And breathing out, fold. Breathing in, lift. Still with the goddess legs. Trying to line up the knees and the toes. So you've got to roll those inner thighs out. Breathing in, lift and lengthen. And breathing out, fold. Lovely. Release that off, straightening the legs. Pop the bricks down in front of you again. This time I'm going to spin to the right. So knee down to start with. Go low, okay. Settle yourself, lengthen and lift the chest. Okay, lovely. Pushing up into the high pose or stay low, your call. Push the floor away, lengthen and lift. Bringing yourself up into an arm position that suits you. Think length, think dropping the shoulders in. Think opening up the hip, lengthening the front of the body. Breathing here. And then breathing out, lowering down. Carefully lower that knee down at the back. Bring the hands inside and caterpillar this foot out towards the side of the mat. Okay, push down and lengthen and lift. Draw that knee into the shoulder. Lifting off the back knee if you can and stretching away. So we're pushing both feet down, lengthening and lifting. Starlings are very noisy this morning. Stretching away. So you're trying to sort of draw yourself through to the front, but still keep good weight in the feet. Breathing. Push yourself off into a sort of wonky Parsvottanasana. Stretching away, you can soften that back knee and increase the stretch in that leg. Lift off if that's more comfortable and straighten, and stretch away and flatten yourself a bit more over that front leg. It's your call. Take it easy. As long as you can feel the stretch, 80% of effort, drawing the energy up both legs into the bandhas. Settling that off, releasing that off, and carefully walking yourself back round to the goddess position. Okay, toes out, knees out, bricks ready. Okay, you can go low and stay low if you want. If you don't want the bricks at all, that's fine too. Deep breath in, lengthen and lift, drop the tail, roll the inner thighs out, and breathe out lower. Breathe in, drop the tail, roll the inner thighs out, lift. And breathe out lower. And then more standard Padottanasana. So straightening up the feet, turn the fingers round to the outside and sort of spider your hands back. So draw the shoulders down the back, lengthen, forward and breathe out. Walk the hands past and drop yourself down. Doesn't have to be low, and the knees can be soft, pushing and lifting the tail, breathing here. Walk the hands back. Lovely. Fantastic. Turn your feet back if you want to, back towards the front of the mat, and step yourself back through to your Ardha Uttanasana. Fingers to your shins. Roll the shoulders back, drop the tail, lift the back, breathing in. Breathing out, lowering down carefully. Option to fold here. Drop the head. Yes. And no. Releasing the neck, letting energy flow up and down the neck, and just really making sure we're getting space into those cervical vertebrae. Bend the knees and bring yourself all the way back up. Fantastic. Okay, quick time check and just make sure that we're on track and everything's still recording. Yay, hooray. Okay, lovely. So then, it's time for us to take some variations again on that now. So you'll notice we haven't done any down dogs yet. Okay, so now we're going to take our Utkatasana and sort of sun salutation B, if you like. So you can pop these out to the side. Have them handy if you need to prop yourself up in anything. Okay, so I'm going to press the feet together. You can prop a brick between your knees if you prefer to do your Utkatasana that way. So softening the knees, dropping the tail. Up to you which hand position you want to do. We've done lots of variations recently, so it can just be hands to Namaste or a more standard Utkatasana. Dropping your weight down a little bit. There is the bench press option, so with the cactus hands, drawing the energy into the blades and drawing them back, breathing here. Or then there's also the flying lady option, rolling the shoulders, palms to the floor, drawing the energy into the arms, stretching, lengthening, leveling up the spine, breathing here. This is my current favourite at the moment. It just seems to draw energy into the back. Release the hands off, taking a light twist, so left hand to right knee. Feel free to take it deeper if you prefer. Keep those knees level, breathing in, lengthening, curling the tail, lengthening out of the spine, sucking the bandhas in, pressing both feet into the floor. Breathing here. Deep breath in back to centre. Release the legs if you need to at any point. Right hand to left knee. Roll the left shoulder open. Rest the hand. Lengthen. Settle. Pressing both feet in. Drawing the energy up into the bandhas and lengthening up and away. Lining up the spine as best you can. Lovely. Deep breath in back to centre. Ardha Uttanasana. Softening off. Rolling and lengthening. Lifting. And breathing out, folding. Place the fingers, stride right, lovely. Stride left to knees to floor. Taking a little bit of cobra work here. So legs away, wide legs, okay. Feet to the floor, hands underneath the shoulder heads. Draw the elbows in and the shoulders back. Breathing in here, press the feet in, press the hands in, and just lengthen. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Doesn't have to be a mega pose. Some people use the bricks as well in their cobras. And then breathe out lower. Release the legs if you need to, or take it again. Okay, deep breath in. Draw the elbows in, the shoulders back. Press the feet and the hands in. Lengthen through the top of the head. Bringing yourself up. Breathing here, bandhas working hard to support the back. And breathe out. Bring the feet together. Tuck the toes under. Through your knees via a swan stretch if you need it to release the back. And up into your down dog. Walk your dog, but take your time. Push down through one heel, soften, lengthen and push through both sides of the waist and the ribs. Soften off, turn it to the other side. Press away, lengthening
Breathe through both sides of the body and pushing all the floor away as best you can. Taking your time. Both sides again. Pedal, push and lengthen. And onto the other side. Pushing, lengthening. Lovely. Settle here in your dog for a moment. Make it static. Roll the shoulders, lengthen the back. Deep breath in, look up. Toddle yourself forward. Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins. Lengthen, or you can take the Flying Lady version if you prefer. Breathe out, fold. Press and lift, softening the knees off, pushing, floating all the way up. And breathing out. Lovely. So we're going to take that again. We're going to take a variation in down dog now. Okay, so making sure that you're stable. So I'm going to turn sideways because this garden goes downhill that way, so I might end up rolling into the camera. So I'm going to turn sideways for this variation. Okay, so take a deep breath in, sweep up. More of an A now. Breathe out, fold. Ardha if you prefer. Activate that back. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride, back to knees, to floor. Breathe in, cobra, widen, push in, lengthen, lift. And breathe out, lower. Through your knees into your swan stretch if you need it, and then your down dog. Settle yourself off. Drop your weight into your left foot. Draw the right knee into the chest. Activate the psoas. And then stretch it up and away. Lengthen. Bend the leg, star the foot and kick through the heel. So you're pushing down through the left foot, opening up the hip, stretching away. Lovely. Straighten the leg, turn the pelvis back down, drop the foot down, settle for a moment. Then drop the weight into the right foot, draw the left knee in to activate the psoas. Squeeze. And lengthen up, up and away. Bend the leg, kick through the heel, star the toes, lengthen and settle. Straighten the leg, level off the pelvis, back to your down dog. Lovely. Deep breath in, walk yourself forward, stretch forward, breathe out, fold. Soften off, press through, lengthen and lift, and stretch up, and breathe out. Lovely. So variation here if you want to. Obviously you're going to go off the mat a little bit, so you can take the down dog. When we take the next down dog, you can take your Kamatkatasana for your Wild Thing pose if you prefer. Okay, so you can take that leg lift, the bend, and then flip yourself over, your call. So you can go all the way over or not. Okay, so take a deep breath in, breathe out, fold. Ardha, push into the shins, drop and lengthen, so dropping the tail, lifting, up to you if you take the variations to draw the energy into the back. Breathe out, fold, place, striding left and right to knees to floor. Option to take your chaturanga to your up dog if you prefer, or take your wide leg cobra and press and lift. Push back, tuck the toes under, lengthen, and a spin to the other side now. Okay, take a deep breath in, so taking the leg lift again. Okay, drop the weight into the left foot, draw the right knee in, suck it in, and then lengthen up, flip and open. Difficult to spin here, so I'm going to jump, take and lift and lengthen, up to you. Watch this spinning of the hip here. Breathe and lengthen, puffing up, bring yourself carefully back over, settle into your down dog. Soften off, push through the right leg, draw the left leg in, activate, lengthen, lift, bend, swivel and spin, Up to you, you don't have to take the full pose, just take the leg lift. And then carefully bring yourself all the way back over. Take a moment in your dog, settle here. Lovely. Then when you're ready, you can walk, hop, skip or jump through to seated. Hooray, we're back on the mat. Okay, well done everyone. Such a beautiful morning here, really lovely. Hope it's as nice with you. So then, tiny bit chilly, just wait for the sun to get over the house. So, coming into our seated position, Lord of Fishes twists, okay? So, legs out straight in front. We're going to keep one leg straight. We're going to bend one leg. We're going to keep it quite simple. We're not going to cross the legs, okay? So just bend the right leg towards you. Again, up to you. It doesn't have to be mega close. You can use the brick here behind you to give yourself a bit of height if you need it, if you've got shorter arms, okay? So if you're very confident in this pose, you can bring the right leg in quite close and squeeze the calf out. Give yourself a bit of space though. Deep breath in, we're going to lean back and lengthen. Bring the left arm up and over. You can either wrap it around the arm and use that to twist, or you can take a deep breath in, flip it up, activate the left leg as you flip it across the right leg, brace and lift, and then use the brick or your tented fingers behind you to lift up nice and tall. So keep the left leg drawing into the body, pushing and lifting, and use that energy, this bind here, to twist more deeply. Suck the bandas in, breathing here. Puff open the chest, draw the shoulders together. It's not something we think about doing in this pose very often. Just draw it in. Release it off carefully. Swap to the other side. Left leg out. Again, doesn't have to be a mega pose. Okay, draw the energy up the right leg. The twists are really beneficial, even if they're just light twists. Using the brick if you need it. Deep breath in, sit up, wrap the right arm around and twist. Keep that length in the spine, keep the bandas working. Or take it out the back, expand, cross the arm. Really push in and lift and lengthen. Draw the energy into the right leg and use that energy to twist. Breathing here. Quite blocked on this side for sure. Keep breathing, keep lengthening, keep stretching. Lovely. Release it off. Back into the centre. Release the legs. Okay, so potential here for using your belt if you need to. So I'm just going to turn off to the side a little bit. So we're going to open up the legs quite wide, but not so wide that you're feeling aggravation in the head of the femur, so in your hip bone. So activate both legs. If you want to, you can prop yourself here, so a little sofa cushion, or propping yourself on a block. But just be careful, if you're propped up, you don't want to lock out the knees and sort of hyperextend the knee joints. So you've got to really think about pushing the heels in and softening those knees off. Whereas if you're flat on the floor, you can just draw the energy up the legs and try not to lock out the knees. It's a bit easier. Okay, take a deep breath in. We're going to turn to the right. Okay, and this is where you might want to hold the belt. So we're going to stretch it, we're going to lasso it over the left foot, okay, doesn't matter if it's not looped, okay, hold on with the left hand, sit up and activate, turn to the right, and then breathe out. We're going to gently guide and lengthen, turn to the right still, but stretching over to the left. Keep drawing the energy up the legs, holding here, trying to unlock this lower back and right hip area, stretching away. It's quite intense. Keep lengthening, keep breathing, keep lining up the shoulders. Release that off. Carefully keep the twist as you bring yourself back up, and then release the twist when you're upright. Swap the belt over. Lasso it. If you know you can reach your feet, that's lovely. Deep breath in, sit up, find up pose, activate the legs, turn to the left, lengthen, breathe out and fold. You don't have to use the arm if you don't want to. This is adding extra sort of torque, if you like, into the lower back, so it might be too much for you. Keep breathing here. Softening through the knees, but drawing the energy up the legs and the bandhas nonetheless. Breathing, breathing. Hopefully you can still hear me with this falling over the microphone. And breathing out, keeping that twist away as you bring yourself back up and twist off back to center. Release it off. Belt out. Soften the knees. You might want to hold between or underneath the knees and bring yourself back to center. Crossing the legs and just sitting here. Taking a moment. So we're going to take 2 seated poses here before we go into our Shavasana. So sitting up, lengthening and lifting. Lovely. So into deer pose. Now, for those of you who find that you've got quite sort of locked hips, particularly outer hips, just be careful here. You might want to go up onto a brick or 2 or a sofa cushion or 2 to just give you a lift up. If you don't like sitting cross-legged, then it's probably you who will find this a little bit difficult. So I'm going to cross one leg in front and we're going to bring the other leg behind. Okay, so this foot can get tucked right in if you prefer, or not. Okay, so if you're propped, then it's a little bit easier because you're going to be a bit higher. Okay, so you decide where you can be happy in this pose. Both feet are flexed, and we're trying to drop the right hip down to the floor. So whichever leg is behind, that is the hip that we're trying to drop down to the floor. So sitting up nice and tall. Dropping weight into the right hip if your right leg is behind, and then breathing out, lengthening, trying to keep weight in the bottom. This tricky one is you start to sort of lean off the pose, so keep dropping the weight back and then lengthen out, and it doesn't have to be a mega fold. Breathing here, breathing in, lifting yourself back up. Lovely. Carefully twisting, so to the left is easier, towards the front knee. And to the harder side, breathing out, twisting. Depends how blocked you are on each side. Keep dropping the weight. Lovely. Release it off. Going to swap the legs over, all in the best possible taste. So spin, swap, checking in how you are here, flexing both feet as best you can. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, dropping the weight into this hip. Okay, you'll feel the stretch around this head of femur girdle, if you like. Sit up nice and tall, breathing in. Drop the weight into the seat as you lengthen out of it. So keep the weight in the seat and lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. So as soon as you lose the weight in the seat, you've gone too far. So breathing, lengthening. Bring yourself back up. Somebody making a lot of noise. Carefully twisting to the front knee out to the side. Breathing here. Breathe in back to center. Breathe out to the other side. Twisting, breathing. And then bring yourself back to center. Lovely. Option here, so we haven't done an inversion today, so your call. You've got an option here if you want to pause the video and take some time in an inversion. So the 2 indicated for today are headstand. So only do a headstand if you know what you're doing and you've been talked through it and you know how to keep your neck and shoulders and head safe. Okay, or potentially halasana. So halasana is plow pose. So this would be, Ardha Halasana would be the one where we push up, lift and lengthen. Again, finding that lovely tripod position through the trapezius and the shoulders, puffing open the chest, bringing the knees to the forehead, or stretching the legs out behind. So we go into that sort of inverted sort of right angle triangle, if you see what I mean. So this would be your back and your legs out to the back, or the half pose where you've got your knees rested on your forehead. So that's an option for you today. And here then we've also got the option to go down into our Mudrasana. So 2 more poses if you're moving straight on, or take your inversion now. So our Mudrasana is, we're going to take a cow face variation. So we're going to bring ourselves into a cow face variation. So we're going to bring the feet out in front, tuck the left foot through, just clearing the money spiders off the mat, and cross the leg over. So again, if you're happy in cow face and you want to take cow face, full cow face, Gomukhasana, that's fine. We're going to bring ourselves into that ankle on top of knee. This knee will remain high. Okay, I'm going to bring the hand underneath and the hand over the top or out to the side. Deep breath in, lengthen, draw the shoulders down the back, draw the energy into the legs, and keep the weight in the bottom as you lengthen and fold. As you fold, you're just gently leaning on this leg. Keep activating both legs, pushing through the heel of this top leg, breathing here, bringing yourself back up. Swapping the legs over. Don't worry about the arms if you're not doing the full cow face at this stage. Swap the feet out in front and swap the legs over. So tuck the other leg in, cross the other leg over the top, ankle on top of knee. Again, it doesn't matter how high this knee is, that's okay. Hand underneath, hand out to the side. Deep breath in, lengthen and sit down, but keep it tall, and then breathe out, fold, and carefully does it. You're going to fold and just encourage this hip to open. Keep flexing the feet, keep lengthening. Lovely. Keep breathing here, keep opening the hip. Straightening, lengthening, and breathe out. Release that off. So, sitting on your sofa cushion or your block, you can bring yourself into a cross-legged position, normal cross-legged, or a Sukhasana, a so-called easy pose, but not easy for most people at all. So, carefully does it. Bring yourself into position. Yoga Mudrasana, I'm going to take cow face arms for this. So, I'm going to take 2 versions. Stretching yourself out, lengthening away, sitting up nice and tall. Right arm up, bend at the elbow. You can use your strap for this if you prefer. You don't have to catch the hands together. Lift the top elbow, drop the left shoulder, scoop the left shoulder in. Breathe in and breathe out, lengthen. Hinge. Tucking the chin in as you go and fold. Resting here, breathing. 5 breaths on this side. Band is still working hard here. Sealing the practice. And when you've taken your 5 breaths, bring yourself out. Swap the legs, swap the arms. Left arm up this time, drop and bend, and then catch or use your belt. Lift and drop and scoop. Lengthening, drop the weight into the bottom, band is in, and breathe out, lengthen and fold. 5 breaths on this side. Deep breath in and breathe out. Keep breathing here. Lovely. Deep breath in and out. Take your time with your breaths and carefully bring yourself out. And then making sure you're going to be warm and comfortable. We're going to take ourselves into Shavasana. So making sure you're going to be in a position that suits your lower back. So if you're finding your lower back is a little bit tight, and particularly, if you discovered in those twists that everything's a little bit locked, then you might want to just carefully lie down with your legs bent, feet flat on the floor. There is also the option to lie on your right side in a fetal position to try and open up the spine a little bit more. That's up to you. So finding your Shavasana, settling yourself down to the floor. Lift and lower the head. Lift and lower each shoulder. Lift and lower each leg if that involves pushing the feet into the floor and lengthening out of the lower back. Great. And settling here, just checking that all of your joints are just feeling released. So just move them lightly. Any muscle that is not responding well to stretching out, then just tense it and then loosen it off. See if you can encourage it to release. Settling yourself down and letting your body release down to the mat. This is a proper letting go, giving in to gravity. Keeping your breath going, keeping focused on what you're doing, this active paying attention to relaxation, so this mindful relaxation. And at this time maybe we're looking for some certainty. What we do know is this too shall pass eventually. So sometimes all these qualities seem to talk at once, and I don't know who to listen to first. Certainty comes into the room, stands in the doorway, and gives me a good long hard look until I hear silence. When certainty is bored, he disguises himself in old clothes and goes to bars with confusion. He has an outstanding sense of direction. He knows how to walk until everything makes sense. When he is lost in his mind, he writes his name over and over again until he's back. Certainty knows many languages. His words build meaning. He loves calligraphy. My love affair with language goes down to the letter, he once told me. Although Certainty is an excellent scholar, he starts to miss trees when he spends too much time with his books. He enjoys writing his thoughts and investigating theories. In his own inimitable way, he's trying to find out where ideas come from and how they grow. Certainty by J. Ruth Gendler. So if you've got time to, you can continue your Shavasana, or if you're looking at timings, we're just coming up to the top of the hour that we've spent with Explore Yoga today. So just bring your awareness back to the sounds you can hear. There's a bit of wind for the wind chime. And just draw your attention to all the parts of the body. Very gently moving your fingers and your toes to bring a bit of life back into your limbs. Take a long dog stretch if that suits you today. And carefully hug your knees into your chest. And then when you're ready, either roll onto your right hand side and come up to seated, or come straight up to a comfortable seated position. Take a deep breath in, sweep your arms up, and breathe out, thank you, and Namaste. See you again for another practice tomorrow on Good Friday. Thank you.